And these jewel tones were enormously popular in the turn of the century into the 1920s. Look at that piece of Limoges.
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Hello, everyone. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Let's go thrifting! Wow, look at this. It is pretty and it is cut. Oh my goodness, what am I talking about? This piece of glass right here. Now, it's got several chips around the bottom of it, but I can feel it's nice and heavy, and it's definitely cut. There's no doubt about that. And at $13, without the damage, yes. With the damage, nah. Yeah. We'll say bye-bye. Now, I know if I don't touch that, somebody's gonna say, you walked right by that piece of Manhattan. Well, guess what? It's plastic. It's plastic. It's plastic and it's fantastic. And it stays right where it is. I'm back, I'm shopping, it's good. What is this thing? Whatever it is, it's broken on the end. Ooh, put that down. Yeah, I'm back in Jersey, I know I said that we don't say Jersey, but I'm allowed to say it because I'm from here, see? So I'm allowed to say it. You can say it too. Jersey. Ooh. Well, pity's sake, that's broken too. Look at the top of that. Boy, that's really colorful and handsome, and sure does look like the 1920s or 30s, doesn't it? It's $5, and it is a John Maddick & Sons England. A nice big platter, has a little chip on the back, but that's not of any significance. You know, I don't really... Oh, there's a light bright. Now that I certainly do remember. I'll think about this platter. It's not really something that I think I need. In fact, I know I don't need it. And I'm not sure I want to ship another big item like that. So I might put it there and put that naked baby doll right on top of it. That's kind of funny looking. What does it say on the back? Oh, she does her arms. Watch. There's a little thing on them. Apparently that must be really exciting if you're a adolescent girl. Anyway, look at this. Now this will have some value if it's all in there, and of course it's not all in there, but yeah, and I don't really want to start dealing in old games. Okay. Well, without a doubt I'm going to buy this thing. I've had it before, at least once before, and sold it. There are no marks on it, and I never really figured out who the maker was. I would expect if it were Federal or McKee or Anchor Hocking for it to have a mark on the bottom, but it has the classic look of a little tiny batter bowl from the 1930s, the way that it's the way the mold is designed, and it's $3.99, and I get a discount today here at this particular store, a nice significant discount, well, 25% where I am today. So I'm going to put that in the cart and talk to you about the other things when I get outside into the car that are already in the cart. That's a pretty little etched thing. I always forget. There's a couple of patterns, chrysolite, Chippendale, and I never can keep them all straight. But, yeah. Oh, my mind is racing. And it's etched. That's pretty. I don't know. It's just pretty, but just that one piece. We'll let that go. See what else we can find. Some American, and then it looks like there's a... Oh, let's get down here and see if it's Anchor Hocking or if it's Westmoreland. And it's the English hobnail piece. or is it Miss America? I believe that would be the Miss America because of the way the rays are in the bottom. See that? And I told you I was going to do a little video about that, and I sure do plan on it. This is one of those patterns you're going to see quite a bit. And it's very helpful to tell the difference between the Westmoreland and the Anchor Hocking, and we'll talk about that. I keep saying that. No, we will. Okay. Oh, pink, pink, pink. Please don't stink, stink, stink. Don't have any chips on you. You don't. Oh, what's this mid-century thing over here? Just kidding. Oh, yeah. $17. Well, I do get 25% off. Okay, so that's going to knock it down by, what, close to $4. Look at the etch on that. Oh, get that in that cart. Quit hesitating. We're going to look at that out in the car as well. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's look at this. I'm not sure what it is. Well, actually, I kind of know what it is, but isn't one of these missing? Don't one of these normally fit down in some type of something might be missing there, so we will let that go and see what else we can find right in here on this particular shelf. Some luster and some little odds and ends. That luster piece is just all by itself, and some little EPGs and whatnot. Let's take a look at what it says just for educational purposes. Let's see what it says on here. Now that looks like you know what it looks like. And it says crystal. And it says, now see, I can't enlarge this to see it, not while I'm filming. I can turn the camera off and I can enlarge it. But I cannot enlarge it while I'm filming. But that sure does, it's not the Hocking Waterford pattern, but it sure does look a lot like it. But this is heavy crystal, so that's made by somebody else. Hocking didn't make that. It's pretty though. I'm going to turn the camera off and enlarge it so I can, just for the fun of it, see who made it. All right. Well, I'm going to talk loudly over the vacuum cleaner. You know, another thing that you can do when you're trying to find old glass is look for that yellowish tint. You see that right there? That's not nicotine. And that's not somebody's old chicken grease. It's probably either McKee Pyrex, or in this case, and I did look already, it's old Westinghouse. Well, it's not Westinghouse glass. It's glass that was made and sold with Westinghouse appliances or given away, different kinds of things. And it's old, 1930s. These are missing their lids, but it's still, you see, it's upside down. See the W under there? And I don't know, I guess maybe McKee made this for Westinghouse. I don't know that for sure. It kind of looks like a McKee product, but I don't know which company had a contract. Maybe I can find those lids. I doubt it though. I'm looking. Oh, there's right in front of me. There's some depression glass and an old pitcher. Yeah, they have the radio on in here, of course, and the vacuum cleaner. What is this one? No, that's nothing. No, I don't think I'm gonna find those lids. Drap. Oh, you get a good view down here on the floor. Oh, there's old Falstaff. Now, surprise, 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 when I turned the corner and found this. Do you know what, I can hardly get it in the screen. Do you know what that thing is? Well, I sure do. Only because I've been studying my books for as long as I can remember. It's a piece of Dugan diamond glass. Now, you'll often hear people refer to the company as Dugan Diamond. It started out by Thomas Dugan. Just after the turn of the century, he was a cousin to Harry Northwood, of Northwood Glass, and I think it was somewhere in Pennsylvania, Indiana, Pennsylvania, somewhere around in there. And there was a fire, as there is quite often. The plant burns down, and then when it reopens, it's renamed the Diamond Glass Company. And then again, it was destroyed by fire in the early 30s, and that was it. So there's only a period of just about 30 years, if I'm remembering all of this Dugan Diamond history. They made decorative glass for the American market, inexpensive, but it imitated Tiffany and Dugan. And Carnival glass, they were one of the large producers of Carnival glass, oh yes. And just iridescent glass and stretched glass as well. This is what's called their Celeste Blue, unmarked, totally unmarked, not supposed to be. And then it's given the and then the glass is sprayed, of course, and it's given. You might not be able to see out here very well the iridescence that's on it. Now it's not cracked; it's got little chippity whippities around the top there. Do you see those little chips at the top? Okay. Now, damage. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to show you my items. Then at the end of the video, for those who don't want to hear me go blah, 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 you can change channels. But I'm then going to go blah, blah, blah for about 5 to 10 minutes or so about damage. And I'd love for you to stick around for that conversation, because I would really be interested to have your reactions in the description, in the comment box below. So, little bit of damage around the very, very top. What do I plan on doing with this? Well, I'm keeping this. I do collect iridescent glass, stretched glass, and I'm not a Carnival glass collector. We wouldn't call this Carnival, even though it's iridescent. Carnival glass is highly, highly embossed. Peacocks, birds, grapes and cables, flowers, bugs. Oh, good heavens, fruits of every kind. And so, even though it's from the Carnival glass era, just because it's iridescent doesn't make it what collectors would call Carnival glass. Now, Dugan Diamond made true Carnival glass, but they also produced decorative iridescent glass for home use. It would not have been terribly expensive, and a housekeeper who wanted to appear as though they could afford nice items when they probably couldn't afford Tiffany or Dugan, they could get a nice piece of iridescent glass like this, and it would be very pretty. And these jewel tones were enormously popular in the turn of the century into the 1920s. Okay, so gonna put this down. Don't you go away, because I really want us to talk about damage, buying damaged pieces. Should you, shouldn't you? Value, keep, resale. Just going to talk a little bit about that. All right, now let's see what else I bought today. In one of the shops, I said, ooh, I'll buy those. Now, today is my discount day, and these are as cheap as could be. They were $2.99. They had pink ones and blue ones. I guess I got the ones for a boy. It doesn't really matter these days, right? We don't stick to all of that ridiculous old, a boy has to have blue and a girl has to have pink, but that's very old-timey. Anyway, I can wear these gloves. Let me see here. How's this going to... Ooh, I love it. This reminds me of my old marching band days. Marching band days. Back in them days, we were a little more formal. We wore white gloves. You remember the white gloves? Well, I guess marching bands still wear white gloves. And those awful wool uniforms. We would cut the fingers out, the trumpet players and the clarinet players and the flute players. So I could take old gloves and cut the fingers out, but I said, oh, I'll get these anyway. They're only like $2. Now I can text without taking my gloves off and pick my nose and stick my finger in my ear and whatever, right? Without taking my gloves off. Look at that piece of Limoges. Now don't get too excited. It's got damage. That's the reason why I want you to hang on so we can talk about damage. But isn't that beautiful? Hand-painted strawberries on the back. And it is French Limoges. You'll see some American dinnerware marked American Limoges. That's something different. Boy, my English is really below standard today. I'll let you see the Limoges mark. Now, it is not cracked anywhere. And look at the beautiful, look. I'll tell you why I did buy it in a minute, but it is damaged. Tease, go ahead and tell us. No, I want you to see everything that I got first. It was a good thrifting day, and I still have one more shop to go. A gentleman's adjustable shaving mirror, silver plate, probably made in the US of A. And okay, big deal. We're missing the little porcelain cup or the little glass cup that went down in there. We'll find something. Hang my little shaving brush right here. Look, you're going to see yourself in a minute. Hello, aren't you attractive? Look at yourself. There's the mirror. I don't want to look at myself that closely. And we have initials on the back. It looks like M and M. I shall let you decide. We all have different opinions on what it looks like, but there it is. Freeze the frame if you want to. It looks like an M and an M. Okay, so there it is. Wow, I can't believe it. The only thing it's missing is a little set screw right there, which is no problem. So I purchased this today at 2nd Avenue thrift store. This came from Goodwill. Now, you were with me in the 2nd Avenue thrift store when I bought this. Oh my gosh, we've got to get it cleaned. And we will. And it was actually $16.99. I actually got 25% off, and then I used another little bit of bonus points. So I ended up getting this at 40%. No. What's 25 plus 15? 40. You win. I got this at 40% off. Everything from that one store. Because when you shop there on a Tuesday, you get 25% off. And if you're an old man or an old woman over 55, which I am, you get another 15% discount. No, I'm sorry. Yes. If after you spend so much money, you then you can use your points and get 15% off. So I used a lot of my points today to bring everything to get 40% off. Why didn't I just tell you that it was 40% off? Because you would have asked me anyway, and I would have to answer all those questions. Okay, Elegant Depression, made in the somewhere between 1928 to 1932-ish. Don't know the company. It's a beautiful etch. Might not be able to track down which etch that is, but give me something to do tonight while I'm sitting there in front of whatever I'm sitting in front of. You know, let's see if I can figure it out. Now, I know there's more than that. Good heavens. Oh, yes, of course. You saw this in the store. I'm still dying to track down which Depression-era glass company made that little thing. And then I'm always adopting these poor old glass oil lamps. They're almost a dime a dozen here where I live. Around here, everybody has these lingering in their attics or basements. EAPG, this is going to be 1890 to turn of the century into the early. It has a nice, they always have these nice brass caps on there. Now that was screwed on there to receive an electrical socket. I can take that off, and I can take it off. And actually, when I bought this today, it had on top of it the pieces that I'll probably end up keeping. I've got a nice old brass socket, an eagle socket, with the cord that comes out of the side, specifically so that these can be screwed onto glass oil lamps such as this without drilling them. And there was also a nice lampshade harp, and, well, not a nice finial, but actually not nice, but just nice that it has the function to be screwed on top of a socket. Give me a break. I'm just getting back into this after about 5 days off. So I've been out of the thrifting world for a while. That's nice to have these. I love these, all of this. And then if a customer wants it like this, to simply turn it back into an oil lamp, they have it that way. If they want the whole outfit to electrify it, they can have that too. Oh, I forgot. I can turn my cell phone out. Oh, I forgot. I don't have to take these off. I can turn you off like this. Woo! Going on. I have moved on now to another Goodwill, not too far from where I was earlier. This will be my last stop for the day. Okay, well, there's Blue Willow. It's a little child's set. Not really a set, a remnant of a set. Made in Japan. That's an old Made in Japan mark, but I don't want to pay $5 for just a couple little pieces. And there's a chocolate pot. The decoration is okay. Someone's peeled the sticker back on that. It wasn't me. I'm not sure what that says. That's okay. I'm not really interested in that. This is missing. Oh no, not for 12. I would have bought it if it weren't quite that much. It is missing. It's late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s. It's missing its stopper there. There would probably be a porcelain stopper that has cork on the bottom of it. And it would fit right into the top, and it's not there. You could stick flowers in it. There's a whole lot of things you could stick in there, but I'm not buying that for $11. Oh, look at this look at this. Now that, even though it doesn't have the bottom, looks like somebody repainted it. Is that an old one? I think that might be. $6. Yeah, that's an old one. But I don't have, yeah, that's been repainted and it doesn't have the bottom. I think I'll pass on that. Okay, around the corner here. I always forget what that is. Well, I guess I could look at it and find out. I always forget who made that pattern. Bake right. Warranted, oven tested. Okay. 1940s, American made. Let's see. Okie dokie, final stop for the day. I bought 3 toys. I don't usually buy toys, but I could not resist. 2 of them are looking very 1930s, probably not a whole lot of value to these. 30s, 40s, pre-war anyway. I'm just going to show them to you. We'll talk about them in another video because I don't want to drag on and on and on. But here's one entitled Flying Clowns. Now, I know a lot of you don't like clowns and you would love to stick a clown on such a gizmo and let it fly, but there it is. And I'll show you. I did open it up, and this is what one of the adorable little clowns, well, there's supposed to be 2 clowns in here. One is missing. It's okay. There is the one that remains. Isn't that adorable? So this is probably a Depression era toy, would be my guess. Very simply made. Again, we'll take a closer look at that some other time. Read the directions. We'll even put it together and see if we can make it work. Then we have the Mistoplane, the remote control airplane that flies at the wave of a magic wand. Very streamlined there in the font or typography. I still always get those two words mixed up. But the little boy and little girl are looking very much as if FDR is probably in the White House. What say you? And this appears to all be there, or at least pretty complete. So we'll take a look at that another time too. Not going to be a lot of value in those games, but they'll be really cool next year under the Christmas tree as a display. And then after the war, this is probably the early 60s, we have the blinker code light. Ooh, and you get two of them in this box. Look at that little 60s kid sitting there. I will show you the inside of this box. Much more mid-century looking, of course. The instructions, battery operated, and they're both in there. So I didn't pay a whole lot of money for any of this. It was less than $20 for all three of these. I'll be selling this one, and I'll probably make enough money to pay for the whole lot. But that's what that is. Let me put these down and then we'll come back again. Okay, so before I forget, thank you so much for tuning. I'm trying to shift in my seat. Before I forget, thank you so much for joining me today. It's nice to be back in the old curiosity shop after a few days away. Now, I just want to talk for a little minute about damage, because damage is something that comes up frequently, and let's just cut to the chase. This is cracked. Now, usually I don't buy damaged items. Why? Damaged items are always going to be damaged items. Now, let me get this out of the way. I don't like selling damaged goods, right? I don't want to be known for someone who sells damaged goods. I don't want to just go ahead and say, well, I'm just going to buy anything with a chip or a crack. I don't want to say business plan or business model is such that I want to offer items in the best condition as possible. Now, having said that, this is really pretty. It is antique Limoges, and there is a crack in it. Now, why did I buy it with that crack? There's the crack right there. It runs from here. There's a actually tiny little chip underneath, not on the edge, but hard to get you to see. That crack runs all the way down here, and you're going to see the crack here in the plate inside as well. If you really look at it, you'll see the crack is going to run right through the glaze right there. So why did I buy the piece? Well, it's decorative. You're not going to drink out of it. You're not going to eat out of it. Nobody is going to be serving strawberries out of this. It's really a decorative piece. And I think because strawberries are popular and the paint job is so pretty on it, that I'm simply going to be selling it as a decorative item. Now, if I had not bought this, if I had shown this to you in the store and left it there, I would have gotten 10 or 15 comments, because I've been doing this long enough, right? I already know what a lot of people are going to say. Oh, you should have, and then fill in the blank. Okay, well, or people will say, I would have bought that, or I want that. I understand that. I totally understand that. And in this case, I did buy this piece. But a damaged piece is always a damaged piece. It's never going to have the value of an undamaged piece. That crack can't be repaired, right? So that takes a rather inexpensive piece and really drops it down to where it's simply now on the decorative market. I know there are people that have no problem. Oh, it's character, it's age. I get all of that. I heard it a million times. I get that. Yes, I'd like to have it anyway. I don't mind that it's chipped. I don't mind that it's cracked. That's wonderful. For me, running a business, I can't get the same amount of money for damaged pieces. And I also, as I said earlier, don't want to be buying and selling a lot of damaged pieces. I try not to collect damaged pieces, and you may say, well, that's a bunch of hooey, because you just bought that stretch glass. I made an exception for this. It doesn't have a whole lot of value anyway. If I want to, I can file those chips out. And yes, that's always going to be a damaged piece, and I get that. But I ended up paying about $1.50 for this. I'm keeping this one piece, but I have very few pieces in my own personal collection that are damaged. I don't want, at the end of my life, whenever that would be, to have just a collection full and everything is damaged. That's just me personally. But I made an exception for myself in this case. And I also bought this knowing that someone would want it even with that crack. Okay, so what is he going on and on and on about? Here's what I'm going on and on and on about. How do you feel about damage? Yeah. Now, there can be how you feel about it, but there is also what the market will punish you for when you buy damaged goods. And again, we all know this, right? You drill it, you kill it, and we're talking about lamps. And there are certain other pieces that the chips and the cracks can really bring the value down more than 50%. On something like this, that crack, it's decorative anyway. So here are my questions for you. And I wanted to do all of that explaining because the next time I decide, no, I'm not going to buy that, it just answers some of the comments about, well, you should have bought it anyway. I don't know that I should have bought anything with damage on it unless the damage doesn't really affect the value. And that's only on the best of the best of the best of the best, right? Hey, good folk, I'm back again because I realized I didn't really get across the point that I wanted to, and as I was thinking about it, here is the point. If you see me pass by an item that is cracked, chipped, that kind of thing, and I don't buy it, when you say to me in the comments, oh, I would have bought that from you, and a lot of people do that, and I appreciate that. But the bottom line is, then my question to you would be, yeah, but are you willing to pay what I would need you to pay in order for me to make this piece a profitable piece for me? That's really the bottom line for it. So, for instance, I'll give you an example. This is just a generic example, but it's very true, and it happens quite often. Let's say I see a piece that's got $5 on it, and it's got a chip in it, and I don't buy it. Someone will write to me and say, oh, I would have bought that from you, but they never make me an offer. Of course, it's too late. I've left the store. But just for kicks and jollies, I might ask the person, well, what would you have been willing to pay so that I know, for that damaged piece? And one time I had someone say, well, I'll double your money. I'll give you $10. And I wrote back quite a soliloquy. I replied, and I said, that's not doubling my money. You say, well, you paid $5 for it and I'll give you 10. No, here's what you're not taking into account. The cost of doing business. I have to pay income taxes on that piece. I have to pay sales taxes on that piece. I have to give, if it's on eBay, I have to give them a commission. Even if I sell it at a live sale and don't have to charge anybody any commission, there's the time and the energy that I have to put into packing the item, shipping the item. That all takes time and money to do that. And I still have to pay income tax. I have to claim the income because when I charge a person through PayPal, I have to pay income tax on that. So you aren't real. If you really wanted to double my money, you wouldn't. If I bought it for $5, you wouldn't pay me $10. You'd have to pay me more like $15. To get me close to where I'd actually be doubling my money by the time I pay for my time, my energy, and all those little things that go into selling a piece. Then I have to say to myself, well, can I survive on that profit margin? So I know I'm talking a lot for my first video back after several days, but it's something to think about every once in a while. If you've never actually done this or tried to make a living off of it, certain things that might not cross your mind. It wouldn't cross my mind, Bottom line is, I can't put pork chops on my dining room table. If I buy a chipped glass for $5 and sell it for $10, That's why I try to steer clear of damage. Now, I am totally done. Let's wrap this video up. Thanks for listening. Did you just buy anything? Chipped, cracked, doesn't matter to you. You like it. Just curious. Are you somewhat more discerning like I am? I'll occasionally buy something, occasionally, with a little bit of damage on it. Again, we're not drinking out of this. Yeah. And I know that can be filed down. Are you somewhere in the middle where, it depends on the piece and it depends on the damage? Or are you another collector who says, I don't want damaged goods? I really lean towards, I don't want damaged goods. I lean towards that. Yeah. I'll make a few little exceptions here and there. But for me personally, if it's damaged, I got to think really hard if I'm going to get it or not. So I was just curious to know what your feelings are, and you can put those in the description box below. I'll read it. But I want you to remember that I'm here to buy and sell, and I have to make a profit. I'm still making a living, right? So I do often have to think, if I buy a damaged piece at $5 and I'm only going to get 12 or 15 bucks for it, as a business model, time is money. Yeah, can I afford to do that? That comes down to a personal decision and the experience that I have buying and selling. This is so pretty. We love strawberries. I did pay $6.99, but I got 40% off of that, so you can figure out what I actually paid for it. Will I make a few dollars off of it? I will. Someone will still be happy to have it as a shelf-sitting decorative piece, and they won't be concerned about that crack. If that crack weren't there, we're talking about higher value on the piece, and of course then a larger profit for myself. Now, I have to remember when I'm buying things, right? How many hours a day do you want to work? How many hours a week do you want to work? How much money do you need to make per item to make the amount of money that you need to make daily or weekly? There's a lot more into it than just, oh, it's pretty, buy it anyway, even with that crack. There's so much that goes on up in here. I know how much I need to make weekly, monthly, to have the income from this that I need in order to live my life. So, yeah. So anyway, those were the 3 questions that I had for you. I don't care. I'll buy it, damaged or not. You have to think 2 or 3 times before you buy something with damage or no damage at all. Let's talk about it in the comment section below. Thank you for hanging in there and listening to me go blah, blah, blah. Well, there wasn't a lot of footage from the thrift shops today. I think I did more talking than anything. Thank you for coming back to seeing me again here in the old Curiosity Shop. I did cancel my live sale last night. No problem, no big deal. I'll be back next Monday. We'll have one the last Monday night in January. That's right. We don't normally do that, but since we skipped one and we have an extra Monday, why not? Enjoy yourselves. Have a wonderful Tuesday evening. And until then, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, saying thanks for watching. Wait for the cat. And so long for now. They just watched the whole thing. I wonder if they're a subscriber. Hello?